Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, Bitcoin may be primed to enter a Wyckoff accumulation pattern if it closes above 10,500 US dollars, one cryptocurrency trader suggested. The trader in question is one of the people that predicted Bitcoin would hit 3,000s and XRP would fall to around 11 cents at the start of this year, months before the cryptocurrencies hit those targets. To be fair, it is a little weird, but also I'm going to assume this person did not predict 19, but what have you. He shared the chart below on the 7th of September, noting that Bitcoin's recent price action looks similar to what he calls a Wyckoff accumulation apple chart. The comparison suggests that if Bitcoin retakes 10,500, it will likely push towards the local highs. That would put it back in between the range of 11,000 and 12,000 US dollars. And there's that little chart right there. You can't really see this one. It's kind of all over the place. But if I'm not mistaken, if my eyes are working, I think that says 2009. So I guess this is what he's predicting. The latest analyst comes shortly after the analyst suggested that as long as $9,000 holds, Bitcoin is likely in a healthy state on a macro time frame. The price news right now for the cryptocurrency market is all over the place. That is probably the easiest way of saying it. No one actually knows what's going to happen, and I'll just read these out to you just so you have a very easier idea of what's been taking place. It says weak hands have been shaken out on the Bitcoin crash to 10,000. Bitcoin price clings to 10,000 as Bitcoin whales sit on the fence. Bitcoin holds 10,000 for now while markets tumble. This one says this technical pattern could resend Ethereum above 350. Bitcoin price analysis, Bitcoin remains at risk of another breakdown. These factors suggest Bitcoin is building pressure to make a massive move. So the news that we have for the prices is that Bitcoin is around 10,000. Check, got it. Bitcoin could go up, got it. Or Bitcoin could risk further downside. Also got it. So once again, nobody knows, and that's just how it goes. I've noticed people in the, not even just my comment section, I've been lurking around the interwebs to see how other things are going about right now when it comes to people just talking about the cryptocurrency space, and a lot of people seem to be unhappy that no one knows where any of these things are going. No one ever knows. Newsflash, no one ever knows where anything are going, especially when you hear me say a price. It is because I am predicting something or thinking that something could potentially go in one direction. That does not mean that it is going to happen. I think a lot of times people get very hooked on other YouTubers giving them massive amounts of hope that we are going to skyrocket, that the prices are never going to end. I've also noticed a huge pullback, can I say, in the amount of YouTube videos from other YouTubers who were simply making DeFi hype news when the DeFi is not even, the bubble has not burst. The bubble has simply slightly deflated. You can't really make hype news anymore. You can't make news about this coin doing 100x every single day if the coin is down by about 85% over the last 3 days. So anyway, at the moment, Bitcoin is still currently above 10,000 US dollars. When I show you the chart, it's going to look absolutely insane. It's a real, like, jagged up and down. It appears there's some type of celestial battle going on behind the scenes with Bitcoin's price. There are obviously a lot of people who are trying to push the price up. But I assume as 10K appears to be a support level, we're also hearing like 9,000 is still from that other guy. And 9,000 still like a very strong point for us to remain in a bullish fractal. I assume there are tons of people who are going to try and take advantage of that and push Bitcoin's price as low as possible to simply have whatever they think might be happening. The real news, if I can say that right now with tons of air quotes, with a solid mega rally since the 2020 March crash, the tech sector seems to have entered a strong correction. What? Analysts say that the sector is currently in the overbought regions. What? And high valuations of some giant companies are beyond reasonable levels. Well, now you're just lying to me. On Tuesday, the 8th of September, bears continued to dominate as all three indices or indexes entered a major correction, being pushed by tech stocks. The Dow Jones lost 600 odd points, correcting 2.25%, while the S&P 500 registered its third consecutive day of losses as well. The Nasdaq also fell by around 4.1% on Tuesday. The major reason behind this wider market correction has been the stocks from Wall Street's favorite technology sector. The tech sector dominated Wall Street for the first half of 2020. Moreover, it has single-handedly helped Wall Street pull off the market crash, or pull away from the market crash of March 2020. It looks like after a continuous rally that made no gosh darn sense during the entire quarter two of 2020, investors are cashing out their gains. On Tuesday, Apple was leading the correction in tech stocks by losing over 6.7% on closing. Apple shares were trading at 112 with market valuations dropping below $2 trillion. Apple got a valuation of over $2 trillion, not billion or 200 billion. $2 trillion US dollars while their stores were closed. It is clear that these things were incredibly overvalued and should have never, ever, 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 ever have been that high. At least not until sometime in the future when things make a bit more sense. Apple had their stores closed around the world for 5 to 6 months. Closed, not half open, completely closed. And even when they did open up some of them again in the summer, they closed down a week later. It's not like people were going home like, oh man, I'm broke, I should go buy a new Apple computer. No one had any money. People didn't have jobs. Where were these crazy valuations coming from? It says Apple having its worst 3-day stretch since October 2008. Wow, you're freaking kidding me. I would have no idea that would happen. Did you not realize that the rest of the world was crumbling? And the only things that were going up were these tech stocks. It was the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, and Amazon, and Tesla. They were dragging up the entire market. If you had even looked, remember we were talking about this before when I was having like mini breakdowns and I was like, why are these things going up? Like they don't make any actual sense. And you looked at the other prices that were happening in the stock market, they were all in red. For consecutive weeks, they would just kept on going down. And even there were so many, the hype got so real. There were so many companies that had gone bankrupt. Like not like the filings that some rich people can do to kind of write it off on their taxes. It was like, no, like we're broke. There's nothing left in our bank account. And there were people on the news like, well, I think it looks like a good buy. And it's like, there's no one sitting inside the offices. What's wrong with you people? Microsoft accompanied Apple to the next position, losing 5%. Amazon, Google, and Facebook lost anywhere between 3 to 4%. Zoom video dropped by 5.4, probably its biggest drop in 2020. With this, the company valuations are corrected to drop. I mean, what was going on? Like what? I'm trying not to curse. What's wrong with people? Market analysts have already been warning about the overbought levels in the tech stocks. The mega rally in the tech space looks to finally cool down. And analysts are expecting a healthy correction. No, it's not a healthy correction. None of these things should have been valued this high. If your store is not open, what's going on? Have you seen the list of how much money, what are all these people's names? Zuckerberg, the other guy from Tesla, the guy from all the people of these I can't remember all their names right now. How much money they made while 19 was happening. They made $35 billion, like just one person. They were making huge, massive amounts of money on the backs of nonsense. This was going to happen at some point. And I'll be completely honest with you, I hope it continues happening. We need to get back to a more realistic level on all the markets so we can kind of move forward. If 19 still has not been priced into the stock market, my gosh, we are in for a correction unlike anything we've ever seen in our entire lives. Do not forget, there's still over 40 million people just within the States who do not have jobs. These jobs are not coming back. Automation is picking up at a rapid pace. What were the official numbers? What was it, like 33 million people are on unemployment benefits, which I think many of them have also run out. We also had the news that 25 million households just in August alone were kicked out from where they live. Households, not single people. So if it's you, your partner, and your 2 kids, bada bing, bada boom, that is one household. just within the States. And these are the official numbers that we got. These aren't even the other people who have already been living on the couches of their family members for how many odd months. It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. I hope this bubble like really pops, because I mean, it's just so many factors. I mean, I don't even know what to really give you. Tesla stock had its worst day. It crashes another 21% on Tuesday. Valuation drops over $150 billion in 1 week. Good. Please, by all means, go back to a healthy number so that we can kind of, move the world forward. The stock market and even the real estate market. What's this guy's name on YouTube? He started popping up. I assume he had some type of coordinated strike thing on YouTube where he was, trying to get people to watch his videos. They're actually really interesting. It's this guy with a GoPro walking through New York City, and he's like, he looks up real estate listings. Someone out there must know, like, as I said it, someone like must have like rung a bell. He looks up real estate listings that are happening on Zillow and these other places, and he walks to these places in Manhattan, and he shows you exactly what it looks like. And these places look terrible or have been closed since February. And he's like, they're looking for like $45,000 rent. And he's like, who's going to rent? Like, it's completely closed, and these things are not opening anytime soon as what's the word? Tourism is not expected to, overflow anytime soon. But he even shows like other houses and stuff like that. Like, there are houses in Brooklyn. There was like it looked like something from Silent Hill. Like, it just looked absolutely terrible. And I think it was on sale for like $3 million or something like that. It's the overvaluations are going to come down at some point. There are tons of people who haven't even been able to pay their mortgages. I've seen prices coming down in certain places, but they're still incredibly high, and people are trying to get their last little squeeze out of the market that they possibly can. Anyway, the point is, there's a lot of news about a correlation between, or rather a couple day lack of correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market, i.e. Bitcoin has maintained above 10,000 as the stock market has dropped. Nicest way of kind of saying it. I still don't believe there's an actual correlation between these things. I think there is a fear index that can be applied, i.e. if stocks, gold, silver, and other things go down, that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market will then be affected because people are getting out of anything risky and they want to swap their money back into US dollars, as it is considered often as a safe haven. But it's just, anyway, let me move on before I continue with all of this. So the stock market is falling. I hope it continues. I mean that in the most honest way. It has to get back to normal levels. We have to get back to actual valuations, realistic ones, so that people who are looking to get into the market to actually make money can also do so, and that they're not buying at bubble levels. Let's move on. And also in today's news, which is quite popular for some reason, I'm going to call this segment "Everyone Hates Ethereum," as for some reason, as the DeFi prices have fallen, there's a large amount of articles talking negatively about Ethereum, which I guess is part of the trend right now, as the DeFi coins are on top of Ethereum. Therefore, you must talk negatively about the coin or the protocol that they are built on top of. It says, analyst who predicted crypto downturn warns Ethereum may dive well below $300 before taking off. I saw some people talking about Ethereum was going to fall back down to $80. That is complete nonsense. This one says, Ethereum continues finding strong support, but fails to break crucial level. This one says, Ethereum ready for free fall? 30% correction after 490 peak. This one says, Ethereum remains in bear's control until it powers above this level. And this one says, DeFi races Ethereum's to lose, says crypto companies. For some reason, this is now the trend to bash Ethereum because of... Like imagine someone moving into your house and they do something wrong, and then someone screams at you or like bashes you in a certain way, even though the other person who moved into your house is garbage. That's kind of what it's like. Ethereum in turn has really done nothing wrong. I mean, they're not the most perfect project or coin, but this seems, and I will give you a prediction that once the market starts going up again, whenever that might be, and Ethereum's price is looking very strong or looking like it's going to start passing by $500. We'll get tons of praising Ethereum news once again, talking about how strong the protocol is and how everyone is looking forward to Ethereum 2.0. But the trend right now is we got to hate Ethereum because People don't know what else to write, and that's just where we are. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Ledger X, a regulated futures exchange in the United States, has introduced physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts. This allows investors to receive physically delivered Bitcoin, and some analysts believe that this will amplify the impact on the price of BTC. When first launched with the backing of the New York Stock Exchange's parent company, the Intercontinental Exchange, it received significant hype. Most of the interest around the platform surrounded its physical delivery of Bitcoin, meaning if institutions desired, they could actually hold Bitcoin via Bakkt's custodial security service. At the time, Compound General Counsel Jake Chervinsky emphasized that it could potentially affect the price of Bitcoin. I don't even have to read all that stuff. It is kind of relevant. He says, noteworthy is the fact that Bakkt will be using real Bitcoin. This means institutions will reduce supply of Bitcoin and maybe increase prices of Bitcoin as well. This is different from other regulated futures like the CME and CBOE, which only deal in cash-settled futures, which is what I've ranted about a couple of times before in the last week. Physically settled Bitcoin contracts could affect the Bitcoin price because it has an actual impact on its supply. When investors trade cash-settled futures contracts, they are not buying real Bitcoin to long the asset. This reduces the potential effect on the supply of the cryptocurrency. This is what I was screaming about last week. It does not make a lot of sense that the CME, not even the CBOE, would have an actual effect on Bitcoin's price, or that Bitcoin's price had to pull back because of this one exchange in this one city on this planet when there are millions of people trading Bitcoin at the exact same time. Why would a cash-settled anything that simply has the name Bitcoin splattered on top of it have to change the price of Bitcoin? However, at the same exact time, it would make a lot more sense if someone was actually swapping Bitcoin back and forth and we saw that these people had a $14 billion position to the negative aspect of Bitcoin's price and that it was going to go down. That would probably have an effect on Bitcoin's price. Anyway, the point is Ledger X has launched. So apparently I guess it's already here. We'll see what's going to happen with it. We never get any Bakkt news anymore. Almost never. I don't know if it scares institutions to deal in actual physical Bitcoin. I don't know if they are afraid. I have no idea. I assume it has to do something with fear of them getting into actual physical Bitcoin in some sort of way. Maybe they're just used to dealing in US dollar markets. Maybe they're evil, miserly people who live inside of dark castles who are only trading in physical US dollar Bitcoin contracts to try and bring the price of Bitcoin down. Who knows? I think this will continue to be a trend, especially logically, if you can continue to accumulate more Bitcoin yourself and the price of Bitcoin goes up, well, you have a win-win because you've also lowered the supply of circulating Bitcoin. I think this is going to continue around the world, not just within the United States. And without further ado, let's move on. Charles Hoskinson is in the news today. Input-Output Hong Kong CEO Charles Hoskinson has announced Gerolamo. Not joking, it's called Gerolamo. Gerolamo. An interoperability system that links Cardano with Atala. In the past, IOHK has served enterprise clients that wanted to use the Cardano blockchain, but who were not ready to rely on a public blockchain for regulatory, legal, and business reasons. He says the solution for those needs is Hyperledger Fabric, which is basically a permission ledger infrastructure that offers enterprises permissioned control over the ledger consensus method. Enterprise chains are different from Cardano, in which any participant can contribute to the consensus. Hoskinson says that IOHK previously created Atala, a permissioned blockchain for enterprise users. He adds that Atala is not entirely separate from public permissionless blockchains and that the two types of chains are interoperable. He said, "We're going to unify the ecosystem in 2021. Some of this has to do with the underlying permissioned and permissionless chains together. If we get approval in 2021, we're going to call this Gerolamo because that was the first name of Cardano." I do not think that Cardano would have taken off if its name was Gerolamo. It sounds like a hipster drink or something like that, or like a cough people have. So the news is, and I cringed slightly when I read it the first time, is that Cardano appears to be their permissionless blockchain, while Atala appears to be the one that is used for enterprises. They're planning on linking them together so that if there are any enterprises or normal people who want to use Cardano and or Atala, they can do so through Gerolamo. The cringe part that I had, and I am justified in having this, is that he gave an actual date on it, and it says 2021. That means we have to have this by 2021, or we are going to be in that same exact cycle that we had before, where for years and years we kept on hearing that we were going to have Shelly, and then it took about 3 to 4 years before we finally got it. So I don't know if this excites anyone. It was quite popular news that apparently Gerolamo is on the way. It's a bad name. It's not just me, right? Like I know that Shelly was named off of someone, as was Ada, but listen, that's not a name that's going to catch on. It has to be something like quick and smooth and has a nice sound. Like Cardano has a pretty smooth sound. Gerolamo sounds like Geronimo. Anyway, that's the Cardano news, and we're going to move on. Next up, you'll see why I'm breathing heavily. 2 crypto enthusiasts just made a $10,000 Bitcoin bet on the U.S. presidency using a smart contract. According to an 8th of September post from podcaster Marty Bent, I thought that was Mary Bent. Okay. Also, if you know Mary Berry, I thought that was that for a second as well. The Bitcoin mainnet has seen its first ever discrete log contract, or DLC, which he calls a very important moment in Bitcoin history. Fitting in with the general theme of 2020, the smart contract is highly political. As we are not a political channel, we do not talk about politics on this channel. We're going to slide on through it. The point is, apparently, there's now a smart contract platform on Bitcoin. It also seems a bit like a prediction market, but I assume that may not be. I don't think Bitcoin will be able to actually handle that. I know in the past they were trying to implement smart contract prediction platforms, kind of like Algor on top of Bitcoin, or something side chainy on top of Bitcoin, so that you could simply have an open place where you could bet on things that in an unregulated spot, if you kind of want to say that. So this was also pretty popular, that they're betting on what's going to take place in November. And I guess the news is that Bitcoin now has smart contract capabilities. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 3 transactions per second. I don't think this is going to be shattering anyone's world. So for those of you who were interested in using smart contract, what are they called? Discrete log contracts with you and your buddies on top of Bitcoin. Well, gosh darn it, there you go. You now have it. Let's move on. This was also super popular, and I don't know if it's just me. Customers in France can now pay in Bitcoin when they order from Just Eat France, which is an online food ordering company and a part of the UK-based Just Eat group. Moreover, the platform announced on its website that it would use BitPay as its BTC payment provider. There was no official announcement about the collaboration between Just Eat France and BitPay, a leading cryptocurrency payment processor. The company, which can be compared to Uber Eats, also published instructions to help users make payments through BTC and said it would not charge its customers with any fees for Bitcoin payments. This was kind of all over the place, in multiple places. As I said, all over the place. Yeah, I mean, maybe because I don't eat, or maybe because I don't use Just Eat France, that I mean, it's kind of cool. You know, if Uber Eats was also taking Bitcoin, that would also make the news. Here's the actual website for it. It says payment, payment methods, and number 6 is Bitcoin. So yay, it's real. If you're using Just Eat and you wanted to pay with Bitcoin for your Just Eat food, well, there you go. You got it now. Yes, I see the significance of it. However, we're going to continue getting news like this. There are going to be thousands, if not millions, of companies who are going to continue to accept Bitcoin as time goes on. It's unavoidable that this would take place, but without having to spend too much time on Just Eat France, let's move on. Yeah, kind of cool. Why not? It's going to happen to every single company at some point. They're all going to accept Bitcoin. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Tolek Banan, Snacky Chan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain Decentralized Peter, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Storio, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Damien Set, Suna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto. Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, who clicked the little join button below, and thank you to everyone in general for all your support through all of this year's madness. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $10,148 US. Here's all that choppiness I was talking about. It's been a rough 24 hours. None of the coins' prices have any idea where to go. You can see they're all almost exactly the same to Bitcoin. The same exact pattern. Bitcoin is a magnet, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. We had news years ago that we were going to see a decoupling of the coins. That XRP would move independently from Bitcoin, that Ether, it's never going to happen. I do not believe it is ever going to happen at this point. I think we are currently at the point where Bitcoin is going to continue skyrocketing. Other coins will follow it. And then once Bitcoin gets big enough, this is when we'll start seeing the absorption of other coins. I think it'll happen to the very low cap coins, because a lot of these people will have realized that they have their money in complete garbage and should have had it into Bitcoin in general. And by the time we hit a 50, 60, 70, 80,000, whenever that might be Bitcoin price, that's when we'll see the absorption of many other coins. But alas, I digress. Binance coin is the only coin in the top 10, save for, not even Tether's in green. That's in green right now. Not really sure exactly why Binance coin is up. It could be anything. Maybe there's something behind the scenes. We've had this situation before where Binance coin was the only coin that was rising. And then 3 days later, we get some type of news that there's like a Binance Coin X or Binance Coin new smart chain protocol platform that was going to be launched. So what have you? Tron is up. Uma's up. I saw a couple of articles talking about how they were predicting Yearn Finance to have a very strong recovery. I think after it hit 38,000 US dollars, it's currently at 22,000. These coins are garbage. Stop putting your money inside of them. Omise Go is up by 3%. No real Omise Go news at all. This coin continues to surprise me. It was number 60. It's now number 33. There's no Omise Go news ever. It continues rising in price for the love of I don't know what. It could be speculation based off of Ethereum 2.0, maybe Plasma still being worked on, which is what they were using or working on before with the Ethereum team to give Ethereum 10 million transactions per second, not a fake number. Who knows? I don't knows. Roughly everything else is, nope, everything else is in red. Very, very weird year. Not even a weird week, not even a weird day. This entire year has been absolutely bonkers. We'll see. Either way, and I will say this it's not even in the nicest way. For all those out there who were talking about, hey, I hope Bitcoin goes down because I want to accumulate more. Buddy boy, this is now your chance. Get in while the getting's good. But if prices fall, just understand that prices can also fall because, this year makes no sense. Especially if you look back at all the videos I've made and all the news that we've gotten about Bitcoin adoption. And I don't mean Uber Eats, Food France news. I mean, like actual, real, heavy-handed, big money adoption. Bitcoin should still not be below $15,000. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Make sure you do something funny today. Go do something nice. Go rent a good movie. Do people still rent movies? I feel like that's not a thing anymore. You kind of like watch a movie online. Thank you all once again for watching. Rent a movie. Once again for watching and listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See